Hello. Hello.
Coach, question for you. Name's up on the stadium. Pretty cool to look to see the Jim Harbaugh right over on the top there. But I interviewed all your kids today. You always bring great kids here every single time. So
Thanks.
congratulations. But what makes those guys so special? I know you got a lot of special players on the team, but what set these four guys apart that you brought up here to meet
Well, there are four great guys, and there could have been, maybe 30, 40 other guys, just as good, in terms of ability and just how they conduct themselves. It's just been a tremendous offseason. Right from the very beginning, our guys have attacked everything, and every day, just along the way, I've just felt like, how you doing? We're good, and we're getting better every day. That's a good feeling, and now we're honing in on the start of finishing up our trip of Michigan, and then getting ready to start training camp. But it's been a tremendous off season. Maybe to your point, I worry about things, but with this team, I worry less. They do right. They're very respectful. I would even go as far as to say this is the most respectful and most well-mannered team I've ever coached. And I don't take maybe just a little bit of credit for that. That's parents and families. But great group to be around every single day. That's probably the best part of my job. I get to be around this staff and these players every single day.
Isaiah?
Jim, when we talked to several of the players, all kind of said the same thing, that their focus this year was to not be complacent. Has that been a theme going through the team this year, and how do you kind of work against being complacent after having had the year that you had last year?
Yeah. Well, I just think so many were a part of last year. So many put in the same work that, all the players that aren't here anymore. Some of the stars like Aiden Hutchinson and Hassan Haskins, that whole great group of Dax Hill and Stuber and all those great players like Vastardis. There's a lot of these players that did the exact same thing that those players did. Now maybe they did it a little bit, at a leadership level, and our guys got to see that, got to be a part of that, and got to see how well it paid off, both for the team and for each of those players individually. And why wouldn't you want to do it exactly the same way? It's a great template.
On the right?
Yeah, Jim, your team travels to Ohio State this season for the first time in 4 seasons, played them last season, first time after the pandemic canceled 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Your starting quarterbacks and your starters may not have played in Ohio Stadium before because of how long it has been. What would you want them to know about Ohio Stadium that may play a role in how that game is played in November, because it is in Columbus?
Yeah. They're not going to flinch, if that's what you're asking. There's nothing really I got to teach them or show them or tell them. I know our team really well by now. They don't blink. They don't flinch at stuff, and just keep attacking and building, and that's definitely our goal, to win the championship again, and fight like hell for Michigan to get that done.
Just on the right here?
Since you brought it up, I wanted to ask you about how important it was for you guys to win the way you won against the Buckeyes last year, to sort of assert that you can win this division, you can win the league. How important was that? Not just beating them, but beating them sound.
Well, super important. There's no question about it. I'm happy. I'm happy that our players got to experience that. Mostly that's where that happiness comes from, is that, and that's part of the transformational process, that our players learn that, there's big challenges, there's obstacles in the game of football and in life, And I think they learned with the right approach, with the right work ethic, with the right team first mentality and teamwork, that you can make anything happen. You can bring anything to life, and that's a great thing for them to be able to carry on, for the rest of their lives. Because there's going to be challenges in sports and in their personal lives and in their careers after they get out of college.
On the left.
Jim, when you have that proof that
Thanks.
those guys learned that lesson by winning a game like that, by winning a Big Ten championship and making the playoff, how does that carry over for the program going forward when you've had that kind of success and the proof of we can do this?
Well, like I said, we've really seen it manifest in a tremendous positive way. Within days of that of our last game, I mean, guys were in the building. They were attacking stuff. They were just picking right up. And ever since, I mean, they've attacked everything that's been put in front of them, and they've done it with zero entitlement. And there's none on the foreseeable future. So much better than being satisfied or full of yourself. And here we go. This is cool. It's just gonna happen, or reaping all the rewards. They just really went back to working the same way they worked in January of 2021. And as I said, they have their own experience because many of them did that the entire season. They saw Hassan Haskins, just this selfless guy, team-oriented guy, super tough guy, do anything, for the team. They saw how hard Dax Hill worked. They saw David Ajabo come out of nowhere. Nobody talking about David Ajabo in July of 2021, and then by the end of the season, he's a star. They saw how hard he worked, and they saw Aiden Hutchinson, just a great player, a great guy, and nobody would have faulted Aiden had he been a arrogant guy, a stuck-up guy. I mean, the guy could be a male model if he wanted to. I mean, everything going for him, and you wouldn't be mad at him 1 minute. Hey, go ahead. You should think a lot of yourself. But the fact that he's not stuck up just made him all that more awesome for everybody. And as I said earlier, I mean, it's just a great template. Hey, yeah, we would like. If I was a guy, I'd like to do it. I'd like to be in Aiden Hutchinson's shoes, or Hassan's shoes, or David Ajabo's shoes. Hey, I remember how they worked. I'm gonna just do it just like that. That would be using your noodle, and be pretty smart. So that's what we've seen. That's what I've seen anyway. This off season, which has made it so tremendous. Every single day has been that way. I schedule less things now. I honestly do, because I know if they're in the building, they're going to be using every single minute, taking advantage of every opportunity, and it's almost like I got to pull them back, rather than talking me into doing stuff. I mean, they're excited. They come in like kids in candy store. That's their approach, and I love it. I mean, there's no like, well, we got to do this, well, we got to do that. It's like, what do we got today, Coach? It's fun. It's great. It keeps me young. I know that. I try to keep up with them, and they don't have adult problems, and days are good. And that's the best part about my job is the day to day.
On the right, Dennis.
Jim, because of Aiden's play and his experience, really at the Heisman, and then finishing second, are we any closer to a defensive player winning the Heisman?
I think so, Dennis. I think so.
I'm talking specifically about a Will Anderson at Alabama. He didn't get invited, but was the National Player of the Year, and he's almost using that as a springboard and motivation for this year. Have you seen much of him?
No, I haven't.
Go on the right, John.
Jim, a lot has already been said about the potential for your offense. What are the elements of that have you excited about this season? Parts of your offense.
Well, a lot of elements. And I'll first start with the defense, if you don't mind. It was a great defense last year, and we talked about some of the stars like Aiden Hutchinson and Dax Hill and David Ajabo, like last. I remember coming here last year. I mean, there was no talk of David Ajabo. And then by the end of the year, it's Ajabo. So there's some real stars there, and people are asking how you're gonna replace those stars. I have been a part of many a team where the no-star defense was the better defense. And because there's more competition within the position groups, there's more guys hungry like David Ajabo was a year ago, hunger for that, to be great. And that's why I feel, and as I watch it, I have a sneaky suspicion that it could even be better on defense. Last year, offensively, is the perfect example. I mean, there was a real no-star offense last year, and they played really good together. The line, the tight ends, the quarterbacks, the receivers, backs, everybody meshed. And now you have some real legitimate stars over there. The quarterback position, as deep and as good as you could ever hope. Same with the running backs, receivers. There's so many. I mean, there's 6 right off the bat. You could say could be your leading receiver, as the season goes on, and the 3 freshmen coming in. Tight ends is, really deep playmakers. Eric All. I think, in my opinion, his biggest competition for being the best tight end in the country will be Luke Schoonmaker. And I think Luke Schoonmaker's toughest competition to be best tight end in America will be Eric All. Honingford, Seltzer, Hibner. And the other cool thing about those veteran players, whether it's Cade or Eric All and Scooney, Cornelius Johnson, Ronnie Bell, Blake Corum, just the way they coach up the younger players. How they set a tremendous example, but they also they coach them. They coach them during practice. I see Mozzie Smith coaching up our two young interior defensive tackles. Just that level of commitment to the team also bodes well. So excited. Special teams as well. I think it's got a chance to be really good. Both of our kickers, Moody and punter Brad Robbins, return. Will Wagner, the snapper, returns. Caden Colasar, our best special teams player, is back, and R.J. Moten, a bunch of really good guys that are core special teams players, and a ton of guys that are hungry to get on the field and show up that way. Jay Harbaugh does a great job coaching them, and feeling you can tell ready, I guess. Ready to get things started.
On the left lane.
This is not a football question, but you've never been shy to engage in social issues, and recently you came out and shared your thoughts on abortion. And I'm just curious why you felt it was important to speak about that issue.
Yeah, just in my opinion, it needs communication. We need to talk about it. It's too big an issue to not give real serious consideration to. And I think, that's what kind of person would you be if you didn't stand up for what you believe in and didn't fight tooth and nail for it. So, I believe in letting the unborn be born.
I covered UCLA for the Los Angeles Times. I'm wondering, they were on their schedule initially and no longer on the schedule. I just want to know if you could say why that changed, that schedule. Michigan back to
I didn't know that. Is There's been a change. You talking UCLA?
UCLA in the non-conference.
Oh, things are changing. If you haven't read the papers lately, I mean, they're coming into the league.
That's why.
Yeah.
But you don't know why that was changed.
I don't know. Maybe that's something to do with them coming into the league. I mean, maybe one could. I didn't even know they were off, to be honest with you.
It was changed in 2019.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. They don't let me schedule the games anymore. I used to do that when I was at USD, but
Middle, Isaiah.
We've heard you talk year over year about how players they make their biggest improvement from game 1 to game 2. I feel like that's kind of a similar sentiment going from year 1 to year 2. With that in mind, how have you seen Donovan Edwards make the biggest strides, or what strides has he made rather from last year to this year?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, freshman year to sophomore year, there's a real opportunity for a huge jump, right? Because you're just doing everything one more time. You're doing everything again for a second time, unless you get into one of those sophomore where you take a step back and start reading your own press clippings or get a big head. I don't know. Donovan Edwards, he's one of those outliers, one of those. Just keep doing you, Donovan. That's all I can say to Donovan Edwards. I mean, just everything he does, every way he does it, every way he attacks things, just his personality, just being around him. I mean, can't have any more favorite player than Donovan Edwards. I mean, yeah, he's one of those that comes along every so often, every generation, so to speak. But he's super special.
On the left.
He'll do something. I don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what he's going to do. He may tell you what he's going to do, but I mean, he could be, rolling out, throwing some pass, 50 yards downfield on a dime, making some cut, making some catch. I mean, he can literally do it all. Incredible balance, speed, vision, toughness, and he's just one of those guys. We got a bunch of them. We got a bunch of guys like this. They're my favorite guys. They're the guys. They're the dreamers. They just dream big, and they're the ones that usually make it in this business.
On the left.
Sure.
As one of the faces of the university, I know some of the higher up players have spoken as far as the university goes today do their best to try to help still have access to higher up in the university.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I respect and love about the University of Michigan. I mean, they encourage people to share their opinions. They welcome it, and there's even forums for it. It's always been like that at the University of Michigan.
There's been no any discussions with you as far as the standards of just go with you being one of the faces and the voices of the school, just having different standards, whatever way
Yeah, it's there. There's a university policy, and I have a different view, but as I said, that's what I respect and love about a place like Michigan. I mean, talking about long-standing tradition of creating those forums and welcoming people to speak their mind.
On the right, Rainer.
Jim, last year you guys kind of went into a little bit of a bunker. You didn't have the spring game on television. Basically went through the off-season kind of quiet, really up until this time last year. This year it's been different. You had Colin Kaepernick come out to the spring game. Obviously it was televised. You weighed in on the abortion issue, and then now you were also doing the Michigan. You reinstituted the tour, the summer tours. Can you talk about why you changed your tack this offseason, kind back to maybe what you did previously?
No, there's no tactic. I mean, there was a thing called the pandemic. You know, we couldn't have a spring game. There was the pandemic. We couldn't go on a tour. And I've spoken out many times, you know, throughout my career about things that I support. And so there's no.
But the recipe last year seemed to work. I mean, but whatever you did, it seemed obviously to have a pretty intense focus on football. You feel
Yeah, that's what we've had. That's what it's been that, Rayner, and then some. I would even say we're in a better place right now than we were a year ago at this time, and possibly, you know, where we left off last season.
In the middle here.
NIL is obviously becoming a prominent force in college football. It's new, something new to navigate. You guys last year building the team identity that you built to be physical, to go win the games that you did against Ohio State. This year, building a new identity based on that one, with NIL mixed in, how that affects the locker room. What are the challenges of navigating that and making sure that your team's identity is intact?
I don't. It's not something that that we super talk about. I mean, I don't think our players care. I mean, I think they want to get as good as football as they can possibly get, and they know that you know they're doing really well in terms of NIL. But I mean, that's it. I mean, I think they know that you know it's all going to be good. Get really good at football, and that's where their focus is. That's the navigation. I mean, see how good we can get at football. That's what I see from them.
Got Rob.
Jim, sounds like you believe that leaders can be made, they're not just born. That leadership can be learned. If that's the case, who did you learn from? How did you learn to become a leader?
I really learned to be a follower from my dad. You know, that's where it started. I mean, he learned me to do what he told me to do and how to do it and when to do it, and learned a lot of really good things along the way. And then after doing that for a period of time, then all of a sudden I found people were looking up to me and asking me for my opinion and watching me for what kind of example I was setting. That's who Jack Harbaugh, you know, pretty much kind of did what he said and then tried to be just like him as the years passed.
Go Bender.
So the separators will be, you know, just who plays better, who plays the best. They're both really good. And number one is how many times do they just go in and lead the team down the field for a touchdown, you know, or put points on the board. That's the main criteria, which guy can do that. Now, Cade did it over 50% of the time in games last year. JJ, I haven't done the numbers on JJ, but it seemed like a lot. Every time he got in, practically, was leading the drive. So both really good. Not turning the ball over. That's probably the next biggest. Taking care of the football, and playmaking ability. Gosh, Cade's gonna be tough to beat out for the starting job. JJ. It's going to be tough for Cade to beat JJ out. It's going to be tough for JJ to beat Cade out. But put the balls out there on August 3rd, and then they'll have at it. Yeah, Mozzie, as you can tell today, I mean, I bet he's the most popular guy around here. I mean, I bet, other players from the other teams want to talk to him and, chop it up with him, like the young people like to say. Sure, a lot of the media people want to talk to him. He's just got a vibe about him. I mean, there's just this aura around him. I'm the same way. I want to hear what he says. I want to hear what he thinks about things. He's real deep, and he's real, just a real cool guy. And he's a great football player. Everybody recognizes that. And, you just see how strong he is. And you kind of just, and you talk to him and see how deep that, that thought process goes, and how logical everything is, and just a guy you want to be around. So obviously our players look up to him, and he's done a tremendous job coaching the two young defensive tackles. I see him taking them under their wing all the time. I mean, again, one of the favorite guys in the team.
Over on the left here, Doug.
Jim, interviewing for the Vikings job, did you feel that had any effect on the Michigan program, on your recruiting in any way? And is there anything about how that process went down that you wish you could change if you could go back?
No, like I said, I don't apologize for staying at Michigan. And there was the one day, I think February 3rd, where, I was doing the interview, and we'd talked to the players and, said, here's what's happening. And, they don't have any control over that. Just, we'll know, we'll know by tomorrow. And a lot of them told me, they said, I knew you wouldn't go, Coach. Knew you'd stay here. So that was the one day out of the entire off season where there's a little uncertainty. But we've been grinding, we've been working. That was so long ago. It's not even relevant anymore. Everybody knows where everybody's at, and what everybody's intentions are.
Coach Mozzie, speaking of Mozzie, I asked him what your reactions were to finally beating Ohio State, winning the Big Ten and stuff, and he said there have been moments when you've been obviously happy, even laughing out loud, so to speak, those kind of things and stuff. He said it uplifted the whole campus and things like that. But just from your perspective, what did it do for you to get over that hump?
Just felt great for the players. Honestly, I've told this story a few times. I mean, just people come up to me and say, "Hey, Coach, you look great. You mean a big smile on your face. You look happy." I am happy, and I'm reminded where that happiness comes from. It comes from knowing that our players, they got to experience that. They got to experience being a champion, winning the championship, beating Ohio State, and knowing that, went into length, describing, how good that is for them, transformational for the rest of their lives. Now, that was great. Now let's see if we can get all 4 goals. Let's beat Michigan State and Ohio State in the same year. Let's win the Big Ten championship, and let's win the national championship. Those are our 4 goals, and man, let's go attack them. And guys are, on a daily basis.
And following up on what Doug asked you, though, did you feel almost obligated to yourself to at least explore that Vikings thing, or just how would you explain it to people last year when that opportunity maybe was there?
Yeah, just the way I have explained it. Signed a 7-year contract with Michigan, and when that 7 years was up, I mean, I wanted to see, came very close to winning a Super Bowl championship. Maybe this is the time to finish that job. But in the end, I really couldn't leave our team. I mean, the players on the team right now, it'd be like losing a body part to not be able to coach them. It really would. And we'll chase the national championship. See if we can win that.
All right.
Literally grind through it and watch him coach the younger players, and become a coach, and do his rehab, and then attack it when it really became time when the doctors start turning him loose, to strengthen and to jog and then run and then cut. So key performance indicators, speed and agility, he is PRing now to pre-injury performances. So he's PRing in speed, miles per hour, in plyo stairs, in 3-cone. It's awesome. I mean, he appears right now faster, stronger, in a lot of ways better than before the injury.
Last season in the Ohio State matchup, you were able to create enough pressure to affect C.J. Stroud and have an impact on that game. I guess what impressed you the most about him? What sort of things maybe set him apart from the quarterbacks? And if you can't create that kind of pressure again, how does that change that matchup?
Yeah, he's really accurate. Tremendous amount of ability to throw the appropriate ball, and he really doesn't get flustered. Even when you put pressure on him and hit him, it's really checks darn near every box. So really outstanding quarterback.
Aaron?
I mean, more of the same of that, and then also I really believe our passing game is going to make some get even better too. I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it's got a chance to be really, really good. I mean, the quarterbacks are good, the tight ends are good, the receivers are really good. So, I mean, lean on that as well. Be like a pitcher having a great fastball and a great curve. I think we have the potential for that. There has been some real times where I've watched practice and go, I mean, holy cow! I mean, look at these guys running around, the way they're moving, the way they're catching, the way our guys are throwing. So we definitely want to capitalize on that.
You guys really dominated the lines on both sides of the ball against Ohio State. Did you expect that, and if so, why?
I can't remember if I expected that. I remember that's what we were shooting for, but I can't remember expecting that.
Michael?
Jim, when you evaluate some of your assistant coaches, how do you sort of weigh what they do with the current players versus what success or not success they might be having with recruiters?
Could you repeat that?
When you evaluate your assistant coaches,
Uh-huh.
how do you weigh what they do with the current players and developing the players already in your program versus what success or not success they might be having out with recruiters?
I think you can be really good at both, and I think our guys are, and just they're all so successful as coaches. They've all been successful as coaches at it, at everywhere they've been. So my advice to them is just keep doing you, but if there is something that you want to get a little bit better at, then you can just work a little bit harder at it.
Awesome. Jim, you've had several international players through your program, Coach Harbaugh, what are the differences in recruiting an international player versus a player from the United States, and is it even more different now because of NIL and some of the different differences for international players?
I don't know if I have a great answer for you there. I mean, it sure hasn't seemed any different, not too different anyway. Recruiting Julius and coaching Julius or David Ajabo.
Something about your program you feel like fits the players for international.
Yeah, it probably does. I mean, it's a real specialty of our whole university.
Jim, how did Cade respond to starting last season, but then not being told that he's the starter entering fall camp? And then what does that say about him?
Who said he wasn't entering as the starter to fall camp?
How did he respond to that news, though?
What news? Who said he wasn't the starter entering fall camp?
Well, you said him and JJ were both going to be tough.
Did you not know that? No. Oh.
Yeah, but I didn't say he wasn't the starter. Yeah, Cade's the starting quarterback. He's going to be. We line up first practice. He's going to be taking the. He'll be with the first team. Now, eventually, over the training camp, JJ will get the same opportunity. He'll get the same opportunity. That Cade will. They're both going to get a ton of reps, and there'll be time to have that competition and determine who the starter quarterback is for the first game.
The quarterback competition is as tight as it is. How do you see them embrace that challenge without it getting maybe too combative?
Yeah, it's a great word. Competitive, not combative. I mean, that's what we strive for, and that's exactly what we had last year. And both guys are great guys. I mean, they both team guys, and they're both driven. They're both dreaming of being that guy. They're both putting in the work the entire offseason to make that happen, and so that's what we'll be shooting for again. Competitive and not combative.
Coach, when you were the head coach at Stanford, you competed regularly against USC and UCLA. Just what's your perception of those programs, and what will they bring to the Big Ten down the road?
Yeah, great programs, great academic programs. Be a great fit, I think. Personally, I'm an old school guy. I kind of like a strong West Coast conference, a strong Southeast conference, a strong Midwest conference, a strong East Coast conference. But things are different now. Things have changed. And they'll be probably not the last either, I would guess. But we'll see. I'm glad we're in it. Should be a heck of a ride.
John? Jim lost Coach Moore not long ago. Can you share a memory or two that will always stay with you?
Yeah, just a great man. When I was coming here to play, I was Coach Mo was the offensive coordinator, and then like right after signing day, Bill McCartney went to Colorado. Coach Moeller got moved to defense and was defensive coordinator. Andy Moeller was in my class. Coach Mo just one of the all-time great ones. Great coach, great man, and he'll be just don't quite make them like that. It seems it's time for guys like us to start standing up and being great football guys too. So. That he'll be missed. I had he was funny. It was so many great things he'd say, quotes he'd say. I told the guys on the Big Ten Network earlier that he had one that my dad would always say, "We're in a pear tree now. We're in a pear tree." And you knew that was a good thing. We were in a good spot because we're in a pear tree. Don't know why being in a pear tree was a good spot. Maybe it was a partridge in a pear tree from the song. But my dad would say it, "We're in a pear tree." And I always thought it was my dad's saying. But my dad told me 2 weeks ago when Coach Mo passed that that was a Coach Moeller saying. So something that's been with me. What else, Dad? What else was a Coach Moeller that you've said? But yeah, I know they were great friends and coaches together on the Michigan staff, and heart goes out to the Moeller family. Condolences. Gary Moeller's a great man.
I don't know if you were able to see your daughter's TikToks, but they've surfaced and
Yeah.
become extremely popular. And we don't get often to see you in a non-football world, and you love football. What was it like to get away for as long as you did, and what's your reaction to just how viral those went?
Yeah, a couple of people called and said that they thought tell Grace she did a great job. She's like a 5-star on TikTok, etc. And I didn't know until like she'd done a bunch of them, I guess. I mean, all of a sudden she's filming me like, "What are you doing? You tracking me, Grace?" She goes, "Yeah, Dad, I'm tracking you. I'm making TikTok videos, and people are laughing at you, and they think that they're really funny." And so that was kind of it right up until the last day of the trip. And I don't think she put this one in a video, but the last day we were staying at a hotel where there was many models, male models from Dolce and Gabbana walking around the hotel. And so I got my 2 nieces, my 3 daughters around the trip, and my mom, and me, Jack, and my father, Jack, are the only three boys on the trip. So we're at dinner, and I guess 2 of them were sitting near us, and they said those guys are models from. I'm like, "What? Models? Male models? Where?" And they're like, "Shut up, Dad, you're embarrassing us. You're the worst." What are you talking about, models? Those guys over there? They're like, "Dad." They're getting all red-faced, so you're the worst, most embarrassing dad ever. Okay, you want to see embarrassing dad ever? I walked over there, asked the 2 young men if they wouldn't mind posing for a picture with my daughters. And so they were really red-faced. But then they kind of went into model pose, my daughters did. And then 5 minutes later, they were texting it to their friends about. So I imagine I was able to accomplish being the most embarrassing and making it also made their day at the same time. So, yeah, pretty cool. She didn't put that one in there, did she?
Jim, you were saying how you seem happy because you're happy, and you were happy for your players to experience all the success they had last year. But just trying to dig in a little, Michigan was basically a 500 program for the 7 years before you got here. Now you've been here 7 years, and you're coming off a Big Ten championship and a trip to a playoff at a place that you love, and you've sort of restored Michigan's place in the college football landscape. Like, and I know you're not done, and you want to win a national championship, and this isn't the end. But like, what does it mean to you to have that Michigan is now at this point, and it's the place that you love, that you came back to try to restore?
Wow. There would be a lot of layers peeling back on the onion on that one. That would require a lot of peeling back. Yeah, I just stick to like, we're going to finish up our trip around Michigan and then get started with practice on the 3rd. I mean, that's really what's right in front of us. And the trip has been great, by the way, just a blast. It's been educational. It's been team bonding. It's been opportunities for servant leadership, and it's been fun. And lastly, it's been something that's kind of just taken our mind off of some of the stress and worry of starting training camp. So maybe that's another reason I'm kind of in a good mood. We're not just sitting around, at our domiciles waiting for practice to start. We're out there, connecting and with people and having a good time. So that's different. Maybe Rayner can come up with some kind of plot to why that won't be the right thing to do, but that's different than years past. But that's what we're doing, and we're having fun doing it. We're having a blast. Nowhere we'd rather be.
Got time for a few more questions here. Andy?
Jim, I know that you've used the phrase transformational, not transactional regarding NIL. I know that Ryan Day told the Ohio State boosters they need $13 million to keep their roster intact.
Yeah.
When you heard that comment, I was curious how that came across your desk, what your thoughts were.
my thoughts were I think we can do more. I think maybe we can even double that at Michigan. I think that's possible. And I think it's going in a terrific direction that way. I mean, you know me, I've always been for NIL. I believe players should have a share in the revenues, and I think that's something that's really possible at Michigan. So and I think that's where we're headed.
When you say revenue, do you mean like literally from the school, the TV contracts versus the third-party providers?
Yeah, or I mean the Big Ten even. I mean they use their name, image, and likeness on the TV broadcasts. They're the ones signing the mega TV deals, and a new one's coming in 2024. Why can't that be an NIL deal right from the Big Ten, and right from because that's who's negotiating the TV deals, and that's where the big money is. So.
Austin, yeah, just to follow up on that. So, the revenue sharing you're saying coming from the conference and in return to the players for participating.
For using their name, image, and likeness.
Kevin Warren earlier advocated for a uniform federal regulation of NIL in some places, the different state laws that are out there right now. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like there are differences in how NIL is being administered in different places?
No, I mean I don't know. I don't know all the facts on how it's being administered at different places to comment on it.
Anthony?
Jim, when you look at your freshman class, what are traits from all those guys that you think they share and what they'll bring to the team?
The new guys coming in, it's really good. I mean, it's like probably won't talk about it right now just because I'd leave somebody out that's going to be good. But we saw mid-year players, 11, 12, was it 12 or 13? They were really good. And then we got 11 more that came in June that are outstanding too. So it's a good class. It's a good group of football players. I got one I think is just an absolute gift from the football gods.
Ivan?
Who?
Yeah, everyone wants to know who.
Who?
Just skip that for a bit.
I'm gonna write it down on a piece of paper here, seal it,
And I'll take it.
just see if I'm not right. And I don't know. Is that a question or a statement, Ivan? Oh, I don't know. I don't know for sure. No, I can't say that there's much of a style of play difference. I don't know about that either. There is that much.
All right, well, last question with Doug.
If I'm not sure about something, I try not to talk about it like I know that I'm sure of it when I'm not sure of it. Huh? I don't know about that either. We're good?
Last question here.
You know, all the conference coaches, you guys interact with each other. How would you describe your relationship with Ryan Day at the moment? Just as two guys who faced each other twice now.
Yeah, professional. Even at the Heisman, cordial. At the when we're playing each other, just come, doing everything he can to have his team win. I'm doing everything I can to have my team win. Competitive.
And just to clarify, because it'll come up again in November, when after the game against Ohio State, you said there are people standing on third base that think they hit a triple, but they didn't. Was that a reference to Ryan Day?
I have no comment about that at this time.
All right.
All right.
Well.